Today, Precarious plays
Deus Ex, Mankind Divided. Son of a bitch! Oh, start with this! I feel like such a tool because I thought about talking to Miller, but... damn it.
Okay, what happened?
He got poisoned with orchid and died.
Yeah?
Yeah, but we did the Palisade Bank thing, so we have the cure. We can fix him. He doesn't have to die.
Oh, but we just never went back.
It's not even about going back. It's literally just about looking to the right and talking to him before you leave the kitchen area.
That's cheap.
Well,
how come we don't do that?
It's a little bit frustrating because it does feel like the kind of thing where, like, maybe Adam should have recognized it and done it just at the tail end of that cutscene.
Yeah.
I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to get back to him. You know what? We'll just try it. Let's just try it. Now that I know that I can basically two-shot the final boss as long as he isn't all tightened up, we can try that. Did I accidentally blow past it? No. Okay.
Hey.
Gem?
Stop this psycho, Jensen.
Here we go.
Just hang on, Miller. I'll find...
No time. Or force me to drink. Too late for me, Jensen, but you... There's still time to save the others.
Forced you to drink... the orchid. I have the antidote.
What? How did...
There's still time.
No. No, forget it. Not worth wasting on just one life. The others might need it.
Oh, don't be a dingus.
I won't sit here and let you die.
We can figure it out again. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't be a baby.
It's just math. Chill. Just math and science. A lot of it for sure, but...
We'll just check the residue on the interior of the bottle.
Yeah.
Disobeying orders. I thought you said you weren't going to be a problem.
Just take it easy. You'll be okay. Let the antidote do its thing.
You were right. About everything. I'm sorry, Adam.
That's not important now.
No, it is. My gut always told me to trust you. Should have listened more.
No, probably not.
Go.
You don't know what we've been doing.
Meeting room. Safe ground. Then put this bastard down.
Okay. I guess I must have accidentally let him die the first time I played the game.
He looked stable to me.
Oop. I am running the wrong direction. I am overstimulated.
Wee.
Adam, you need to calm down.
Somebody has the yakety sax activated.
Now here's the real problem. Am I going to run out of time to get to the guy? I'm gonna try a different strategy this time.
Okay.
Oh. Where you be? There you are. Okay. So here we go.
Goodness.
Put another round in him. Let's get out of here.
Oh. Okay, didn't work that time, but it doesn't mean that it won't work next time. Trust me. See, I realized what I did wrong. I should have kept moving around the side. So I could have at least, like, gone for a flank.
Move out of the radius.
I've got 3 of these, so I can afford to huck a few of them haphazardly.
Are you doing this to show off?
No, I'm doing this because really it ultimately just kind of comes down to Oh, hell. It comes down to just really hitting him once. Real good, you know?
Whoa, whoa.
I should mention I have the most combat oriented AUG I have on is the reflex booster, which is for double takedowns, and there's not two of this guy. You know what? I'm gonna try to be a little more tactful. I'm gonna wait him out right here for a minute. See if I can get him to like come up here, you know?
So glad you could make it, brother. You have proven yourself to be a worthy adversary.
You know what I could do to try to force that, I guess? This is what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I'm going to let him see me. And then I'm gonna do this and see if it works.
Oh. Why are you low health? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because of the drone. The drone was what was, I think, keeping the combat going.
I see.
No, but see, like, I feel
That was very swift.
that was deft enough considering how little fighting I've actually had to do in this title, you know?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I can't remember the last time I played, when was the last time I played a shooter with a controller?
Oh, I don't know the answer to that.
Because I was playing, there was like a free weekend for the Halo franchise, and I played the first 3 Halos, but I think I did that with a mouse and keyboard. We can talk over this until we get back to that. Well, until they start talking about Miller, to know how things change.
Interpol has confirmed that a group of radical terrorists linked to the augmented rights
Her hair is
coalition
fantastic.
fired the residential
That's not the
towers
real
surrounding a
fake
center
Eliza.
with enough explosives to destroy
You know what I mean?
2 city
Yeah.
blocks. As shocking as that fact
That is a
turns out to
more
be, Brown had only this controversial opinion to give.
obedient copy, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Nor should we allow a vocal minority to dictate
It's a funny bottle. I wonder if it's a specific type of something.
version of all the United Nations stands for. In time, I believe saner minds on the Security Council will prevail.
While we've got a little break here, I just want to say you're working on sort of like a secret project for the channel,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of one,
Mm-hmm.
and I am so proud of you. You got so mad earlier.
We completely disrupted their plan.
You got so mad at the game you were playing, and I approve because that is a sure sign of passion. Because you know what it's supposed to be like, and you're just mad that it's not there yet.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Aw, thank you. I will kindle the flames of my rage until I can defeat my enemies.
Seems to have the inside track,
All right, here we go.
except when it really matters.
What are you thinking?
How many more plans do they have in motion? How many more soldiers like Marchenko are waiting for the call?
Don't call him a soldier. He was a thug, man. Soldiers have a code of honor. Honestly, I'm surprised you let him live.
Okay, so Miller's
Miller's
fine. I guess.
fine.
That seems fair.
Yeah.
But that one's also.
Yeah, that is what I often think.
Is it? Do you want an intellectual choosing-ins, or do you want a more moral?
Let's go the intellectual choosing-ins.
Okay.
Marchenko knows things.
Put him in a cell, it might convince him to talk. Put him in the morgue, we get nothing.
Let's hope his bosses aren't as smart as you are.
Regardless, we want the men behind him. Behind the Human Restoration Act. The ones still out there in the shadows. It's time for me to start pulling them into the light.
Well, now we got names. Manderley and Page. The collective won't stop until we bring these guys down.
Yeah? Well, there's one more name I want to put a face to. Janus.
So that's what you've been chewing on. Look, I'll try, Adam, but I already told you he doesn't like meetings that aren't on his terms.
Then give him a choice. Either he sets up a meeting, face to face, or I find him myself. I think it's high time we met the man behind the mask, Alex. Don't you?
Criminals may have achieved the impossible in Prague last week. A break-in at the most secure data archiving facility in the world. According to rumors circulating the internet, forensic computer experts were invited to examine the Palisade Property Bank's lava wall defenses after one of its account holders reported an unusual data retrieval delay. No word yet on which account holder filed the report, or what information, if any, was accessed. Palisade Bank Corporation owners released a statement earlier this evening, claiming that any rumors of a break-in at our highly secured facility are just that, rumors. Between you and me, folks, I think they doth protest too much. A coroner's report released in Prague today offers shocking new insight into the death of Dr. Talis Rucker, former leader of the Augmented Rights Coalition. Apparently, the primary cause of the doctor's death was the exceedingly high level of alcohol found in his system. No other toxins were present, nor were there signs of any suspicious activity.
Sure.
Sources close to Rucker tell me he had been struggling with alcoholism ever since becoming a public figure. I am sure I do not need to remind you folks that the organization he founded, the Augmented Rights Coalition, has been linked to last week's horrifying terror attack in London. Augmented terrorist Viktor Marchenko, whom law enforcement officials describe as being instrumental in the planning and execution of devastating violence in London last week, is being moved to a secure facility for questioning. A long-standing member of the Augmented Rights Coalition, Marchenko has been very outspoken about his motives for the attack, claiming it was appropriate retribution for injustices suffered by the Augmented. I do not know about you folks, but there is only one question I really want the answer to right now. When will the United Nations pass the Human Restoration Act so that dangerous killers like Marchenko can no longer terrorize us? It seems not so long ago that Dr. Talis Rucker was on this very program, trying to convince all of us that his Augmented Rights Coalition was a non-violent organization. Today, of course, we are all a little bit wiser. It did not take long for ARC to reveal its true colors once Dr. Rucker was dead. Since last week's attack, the United Nations has officially labeled ARC a terrorist organization. As we speak, brave state police officers in the Czech Republic are raiding ARC-controlled compounds inside the Udalek complex. Here is an example of the defiance they are encountering.
This is where you have it all wrong. Wrong! ARC was framed. You people, you don't see, you don't realize that Viktor Marchenko was not ARC. He was trying to kill ARC, kill the cause. But he has failed. We are strong, we are innocent, and we will not be used as pawns by rich, scared men who want to make us less than human.
I am sorry, young man, but methinks thou doth protest too much.
Go to hell.
The Diwali criminal organization is under intense scrutiny this evening for their role in the London attack. Evidence uncovered by Interpol indicates that high-ranking members of the chapter in Prague supplied weapons and logistical support to ARC terrorists. Among those being sought for questioning is Radic Nikoladze, leader of the Diwali's Prague chapter. Sources close to the man tell me, however, that Nikoladze has gone off the grid, and it is unlikely he will ever be found. An indication of guilt, perhaps? Join the online discussion and let us know what you think. News out of Paris today,
This has to be
where
such a
sharp rise
torture
in illegal underground
for
publications may have links to a prison escape recently orchestrated
Jensen.
in Prague. Last week, Check state
I thought you were gonna
police
say
will
for the
hold members
writers.
of the underground
Oh,
news group
well,
Samizdat
that too,
on charges
probably,
of disturbing
but-
the peace, human trafficking, and media terrorism. The radicals escaped their holding cell, however, and are believed to have subsequently made their way deeper into Western Europe. Shortly after their escape, a radical publication called Silhouette began appearing throughout France. Has Samizdat rebranded itself as Silhouette? I am sure you will agree with me on this one, folks, no matter what name these people go by. There is nothing more dangerous than the spread of false news. Turning our attention now to a more colorful story.
Good one.
A recent incident inside an illegal underground drug laboratory has led authorities to the heart of Prague's Neon operation.
Oh, well, at
According to
least
sources
that.
familiar with the new drug, the dangers of Neon had more to do with illegal distribution methods and criminal ties than with consuming the drug itself.
What?
Make no mistake, folks, Neon is illegal, and the dismantling of this laboratory is good news for everyone. However, some government officials have hinted to me that the drug may have therapeutic benefits.
What the? Okay,
And if
this
so,
is.
a government-approved version of Neon could be made available to the public eventually. Further testing will be required, of course, so only time will tell.
And they ended with that one? Jesus Christ. Like the weirdly petty one? Like the we're just gonna fucking endanger augmented lives for fun. Just because it's super easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was Deus Ex Mankind Divided. There was supposed to be a third one. As far as I'm aware, this game did not meet expectations fiscally. It didn't meet the unreasonable sales standards that were imposed on it. There is a little bit more material. Oh yeah, you know what? I meant to ask you if you wanted to play through that as well. I mean, like, this seems nice and tidy because I think this was episode 100, right?
It was. I am letting it go long.
What if I were to tell you that there were DLC bits that I have never played through, like the boat, the prison boat
Yeah.
from Human Revolution?
I'll think about it. This was a very miserable game, but not because it was a bad game, it was just the setting was miserable.
Yeah.
And that last note that we, like, the news report that we ended on,
Yeah.
just, you know what I'm saying? It was just such a bummer.
That was a strangely petty point to end on.
Mm-hmm.
I like this game.
I think I like it too, although I'm a little bit off-put.
There were a lot of people who were disappointed. They thought it was a little on the short side. They thought the ending was sort of rushed. They didn't like the wrap up with Eliza there either. I like it. I think that ending with Eliza again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, kind of. Jensen did the closing monologue at the end of the first, or at the end of Human Revolution. But I think involving Eliza at the end of Human Revolution and Mankind Divided makes a lot of sense, because she is... I don't know if you can trace a direct path from her to the important AI. Well, Helios, I think? No, is it Helios? There's an artificial intelligence in Deus Ex, just the actual original, that I think it like absorbs code, incorporates code from a different system, and then becomes potentially like this benevolent steward of Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that one of the endings of that game involves JC Denton, the protagonist, becoming like a mental and moral anchor for that system.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you can trace a line from Eliza to that artificial intelligence, but I feel like if you've got a franchise called Deus Ex, I think that ending with a big AI is fine. This shit. Cool.
That is not the point. You should have all been informed.
That is why we are here now.
Volkart, what's done is done. The broad strokes of the operation were very clear and haven't changed. There are always adjustments that will occur in the field. You should know that.
Adjustments? Those were not mere adjustments.
Interpol was more capable than we anticipated. They have a new augmented agent by the name of
Adam Jensen,
who we believe may have had external help, possibly by the Juggernaut Collective or even Janus directly.
We're looking into it, but
All that is speculation at this point. Let's find out more and reconvene later this week. Thank you, everyone. That'll be all.
It's your own fault.
I'm aware of that, Doctor.
Elizabeth sends her regards.
Report.
Overall, the subject seems quite well adjusted despite the massive traumas he's experienced, and his memories are still consistent with the program. He is remarkably stable.
Excellent. How close is he to contact with Janus?
Very.
And it's only a matter of time.
Okay.
So there you go. She's probably a plant, just there to keep an eye on Adam Jensen 2.0, who is probably an Illuminati plant in the Juggernaut Collective, just so they can get close to Janus.
Okay. I mean, I'm not surprised at that person who was trying way too hard.
To just look like a regular therapist?
Yeah. Did I see Jensen's voice actor holding his little mini?
I don't know. I don't remember what, I've seen photos of him before.
I think that Jensen's voice actor looks a lot like Jensen if you squint, you know? Like has some of the same facial features if he's trying.
We can check between episodes or something. So, I want to end just talking about one of the things that I really don't agree with in the conversation around this game. I've heard some people suggest that it lacks subtlety. And it just is sort of banging a drum where it's just like a thinly veiled racism allegory. And to that, I have to say, shut the fuck up.
Why do you need to be subtle about that exactly?
I find increasingly that calls for subtlety in media, it's just a veiled way of saying, complain in a way that I don't have to hear it.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're still living in a world where people aren't getting it, you know? There's so much rampant injustice. There's no point in being subtle if you're just trying to highlight a problem. The subtlety comes from the fact that it's engineered a situation where anybody could have been augmented before the incident, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter your age, gender, race, anything. You could have been an augmented person, rich or well, maybe not poor, but rich or like middle class, presumably.
Mm-hmm.
And then that creates a situation where anybody could look at a character and say like, well, that's not fair. They didn't ask to lose an arm in an accident, or they didn't ask to be born without a leg. Anybody could have needed an augmentation, and that creates a situation where even the most privileged person in the world, I don't know, just spitballing here, but maybe like a certain demographic, maybe like 22 to 36 white dudes, maybe, they could see themselves in the downtrodden, augmented people.
Yeah.
And I think that even if just a few people, if they go like, oh wait, those people didn't do any of that on purpose. They didn't do anything to deserve this. If it puts it into a context where they can realize that, that's incredibly useful. That's incredibly helpful from media.
I don't know how they could have done it any other way, because after the events of the first game that so divided the population so quickly, and we know how people are, like there's no other way that anything could have gone. Like to be any more quote unquote subtle would be very disingenuous to the gravity of the situation that was created. by the fiction so far.
Because
like, it just would it would not go any better than this.
All you have to do
this is probably the best case scenario.
All you have to do is look at Twitter and recognize like they're not subtle there.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Why? At best, I think it's a poor argument. At worst, I think it's an argument made in bad faith. But it's like, just because this piece of media is more expensively put together, that doesn't mean that it shouldn't just get to say what it wants to say. Was there anything else that you want to talk about?
Not really.
Anything else? There is one thing that I want to discuss briefly. You probably have noticed that throughout this playthrough, I have been falling into this pattern where I'll say like the first one and then I stop and then I say, I mean Human Revolution.
Yeah.
There are other Deus Ex games, but broadly I think that there's only one, there's one that is generally agreed to be really, really good, and then the others didn't quite live up to it. And some people suggest that these two games didn't live up to that one. I don't know. I'd have to play through all of the original to determine that for myself. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Not right now, but do you think someday you'd want to play the original Deus Ex?
Doesn't it happen chronologically after these two?
Yes.
I would be interested to see how the mess develops. I don't know. It's not gonna get any better. It's gonna get worse.
Yeah, well, I can give you like a super quick primer. It is far enough in the future that people like Adam are regarded as like relics of a previous era, and they are very few in number, and they are viewed with even more suspicion. But because essentially they're a breed that has mostly died out, there aren't riots in the streets about them anymore. Basically, the augmented people are destined to lose and be forgotten, and it's far enough into the future that has more or less already happened. Also, it's a little funny, but they looked futuristic at the time, I'm sure, but the handful of augmented people you meet in the original Deus Ex look a little Borgish. They look a little silly, I think. Lots of like really obvious cyan, and if I remember right, instead of like the sleek like carbon fiber look that we've got in these games.
We'll have to see if the graphics if I can stomach the graphics.
I'll check and see if there are maybe some like higher resolution texture packs, but it's pretty early PC, not like Mega Race, but I'm trying to think of what games would have been coming out around the same time. You know what? I think it might get up to near the levels of maybe like a Prince of Persia Sands of Time on the GameCube. Is that in the right ballpark?
We'll have to check.
Yeah, we'll have to check. But that's like a lukewarm maybe.
I want to try to find something happier to play next.
Yeah, I've got some ideas. Which I've got an idea for a game that will make you very happy and will make me miserable.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.